Okay, so this is somewhere in time on the British pound, and I'm going to do a kind of a training video rehearsal. Picture myself in the trade, what time of day it is. This is the 15-minute chart, and I have a 1 period moving average on top of just bars. If I zoom in, I'm going to be able to see the candles a little bit, like you can kind of see it. But the candles is too much information. I don't care about the opening price. On the 15-minute chart, I care about, okay, after 15 minutes, are we up or down? And because I'm going to get in against, if it's up, I'm selling. If it's down, I'm buying. The rules are simple there on the line chart on the closing prices. If it closes down, it's okay to buy. I don't want to chase it. If it's already up, I should have been long. Okay, that's my rule. And I'm going to look at this chart in that way. Now, I'm not going to trade at the market all the time, so I'm going to rely on the market is only going to be if I think that, all right, I'm not in big enough, and my limits, the market's coming down into my buy limits, and I see I'm only in 25K and I want to be in 40K. And the way it's looking is that in the next 15 minutes, sure, if I could drop another, I'll get in. So here's an instance where actually closed here, and then it closed down really hard. So if you were buying here, because all you knew at that moment is, of course, this wick tells you that somebody was able to scalp something off of that. Some people did something. So this is the feeding zone vacuum, right? This is where the limits are. But if I have limits down here, because I'm counting in the end of the world, I also have limits because I know this is a low, and this is going to sound really crude, but this is, can we all agree this is a low, this is a high. We would sell above here. When we got above here, that was the sell, scalp back to the breakout. This is a high probability trade. That's 30 pips. So it costs you 10% here. I fixed the spread at 30. I'm going to play back the market using strategy tester. Actually, I couldn't get any robot to run here except for the Ryan bots running this. Because if I run MACD that came with the computer, it can't do, it looks at the data set on the 15-minute chart and goes, uh-oh, we just blew up the account. It doesn't even start to, that's the one big problem with the strategy testers. You have to find a robot that'll let you just do any time frame and you can practice. What are you going to do? So when it comes, this is coming into the end of it. This is the end. This is 5 p.m. So here, after this thing, and this to me is the auction. Now this is somewhere in time. This happens every day. There's always an auction, a daily auction on the 15. The only difference is how many pips was that auction? Was it 500 pips or was it 50 or is it 5 pips? And there's these trading windows where people are making money. Not making 10 pips, right? But now the problem is if the spread's 3, it's going to be shipping and handling is going to be 30%. If you're right, very often, it's not going to matter. If you're able to resell the stuff you paid 30% shipping and your markup's 50%, you're always making money, right? These things, if you're going to look at the 15-minute chart and when you go to the 4-hour chart, it's going to take you maybe 8 hours to get filled, and it's going to take you 16 hours to make profits. Because all you have to do is look at this and ask yourself, if this was a different time frame, if this was 4 hours down here, and then coming back up, the 16 right 4 hours down, but this is the 15. So if I get filled on my limits, and I see we close down here, and I'm awake to see it, I pull the trigger heavy here. Or I just click, as fast as I can. Now here, if I still think I'm not in heavy, now we already know the scalpers, the heavy hitters are going to scalp this high probability they're out. But we go for a full engulf, right? Now it does take an hour and a half, but if you're okay with that, you're already cashing out here. You know the sellers are coming in here. You know they're coming in here. They grab that, they pull it back for that little bit of a move at the end of the day. Now if you're a day trader, These are all viable trades, and it wouldn't bother you. And you just made what? In a standard lot here, you just made, after commissions and whatever, you still made 300, 400 bucks here. It's a 20 pip handle, so here's your 400 bucks. And you could have run a 200 pip stop, a 100 pip stop. But if you're trading these baskets of micro tickets, maybe you picked up 150K here. You already cashed out of 70K. You ride the rest of here. It's a good trade, right? Here it's going to take you a long time to get paid, and you're only going to make about 30 pips here. That's also a high probability trade, right? I mean, in a perfect world, you're going to load the wagon here, and here not so much, because same thing here. This happens all the time, right? So here's where so-called the stops are going to be at 100. Yeah, they come down, they grab that, pull it back. But when they re-grab it here, they don't take it as deep. And what it is we're just filling this 2-hour window here. The market makes it up, and it makes it up here with the market order, kind of a hard down move. The trend traders are buying every pullback here. And when they get stop hunted, the range traders or the supply and demand traders will just take advantage of that. The market's doesn't know you exist, so it's kind of hard to believe, because it seems like they're hunting your stops, right? If they're too tight. But that's, think about a tight buy limit, a 15 or a 5 pip deep buy limit that's constantly trolling, constantly hitting a button. So on the tablet, I could hit a button, because I don't want to keep putting in 15-minute tickets by hand. You're going to get tendonitis if you have to drag and drop and find the spot, right? So the precision of a drag and drop would be, if this was a 4-hour chart, and I say, I'm going to put sell limits up here, and I'm just going to put them up there I'm going to write a script that lasts all day, because I don't care what happens with moving averages, price action, all these ridiculous talking points. The fact of the matter is, would you sell up there if it went up there? It's just not going to matter whether this is a confirmation in golf, and this like I said, the whole idea of protecting yourself from reality is just such a, it's like wearing a mask by yourself in the house, inside of a bubble, it's ridiculous. I like how the government was so intent on protecting you, that same way to protect you from this virus, they're so intent on protecting you from the danger of price action. I mean, the whole idea of making money is you need the price action. You need manipulation. You need these catastrophic moves. Shorting Bitcoin at 10,000 and saying, well, it'll come back. It's going to go to zero. It's worth nothing. If you put your whole life savings into that trade, I think I saw the guy on Twitter, a British trader, talking about, he had something up there. He takes polls, would you, I can't remember his name. Would you bet your whole life savings on this trade if you thought this was a great trade? So these are the constant battle. But if you've always got a set envelope, I'm trading an envelope of size, so I may be in a 5K, I may be in a 50K. The market will determine how many K I should be in, because if they keep crashing it down. Now, it is a little bit of the hindrance, or the thing that's constant battle is, well, I'm kind of greedy, so I don't want to give up any of these tickets. How wide a stop do I donate to each ticket I'm buying? So if I'm going to buy every 5 pips we drop here, and I got some wackadoodle like, how dare you stop me out, that's 80 pips deep, or 85 pips deep. And as we come down, each ticket's $8 risk. And we start to fill that up. When it starts to retrace, I think that is kind of the magic of scaling in, is that if you're used to saying to yourself with this template of stupidity, I'm going to risk 2% of my account today, and not even say I'm going to risk a 0.25% of my account and put on 4 trades, you're going to risk 2% of your account because I'm so good at Fibonacci, you have no idea. Or I took the Gartley course, and I can draw Gartley on, I can go to the bar and find a girl and say, your ass has the most best Fibonacci ratio. I noticed, can I take a picture? So these kind of, in nature, there's Fibonacci. I know I bought this whole, the market's a natural phenomena, and these connections, and that's what Bill Williams tried to do, is he took this computer before there was, I think computers are fast now, but this old dinosaur computer, and he said, well, let's find out what the area is, what the fractal is. In other words, he's saying peaks and valleys are determined by 5 bars, with the middle finger bar being the peak of that peak and valley. But he's talking about the tip, the peak, right? Well, what if you buy the other side of it, right? What if you get in before the peak? Or what if you actually enter on the previous peak? So this is range trading. 80% of the market's ranging. I know you're going to tell me this is an uptrend. What an idiot that you're shorting it, right? But if I'm shorting 40 standard lots off of here, and you're going long 3K here, like, who's making more money? So the size would change the whole formula. This constant focusing on entry and exit, and I can't understand, because when I first started, I said to myself, okay, we're either going to buy or sell, right? That's a binary decision. It's not like I'm 30% long and I'm 40% short. Now, I'm not the kind of person, I don't think anybody is, but some people are more flexible. I think that's why women can handle being 20% long and 8% short. I think guys are like, well, are you long or short? Make up your fucking mind. So I think some of that is the girls wouldn't have a problem, especially if they didn't care to the level of a guy is, going to try to be a sniper. A girl might just, I don't know, fight like a girl, right? Bite you. Like, who's going to win? So a girl might scratch you to death. I'm just saying it could happen. But, it's different, right? A guy wants to take a fucking a shotgun and just blow your head off, right? This is the kind of movies you see. With the girls' approaches, well, maybe I'll just, a lot of girls seem to be taking out their husbands with the famous coolant, glycosine, whatever, the stuff, the antifreeze, right? You probably can't say that on YouTube, but the antifreeze, oops, it's crazy. He's drinking antifreeze, I can't stop him. But they said they put a flavor in there that's so bad now. I think so many people are taking out their spouse with the antifreeze. So they changed that up, It's like once the bankers find out your algorithm for this trap trading, I guess you'd call it, we're all doomed. But I'm just going to play back the market here so we can just practice, right? And so I kind of cheated a little bit, not really, but I wrote these rectangles on the market, and I'm going to restart the exact same spot now. So I'll throw the template on here. So once the robot's running, I can put my grids on top. They seem to survive the playback here. And just call out the trades here as you go along. And it is going to be a lot of work on the 15-minute chart, but, like I said, if you're going to be trade the London Open or whatever, when the U.S. market's open along with everything else, and you will see a thing that happens when the stock's open. Now, on the British pound, you're going to see it different as you would on the euro, but everything's going to react, and things will move in unison, like against the dollar. I had the dollar index actually. They're letting you trade the dollar somehow on this platform of Hugo Way. I don't know why. So there's the dollar index, but they have an actual, and I've been doing trades on here, and it must just be like, I don't know if it's a synthetic, I don't know. They're letting you trade Facebook on this goddamn thing. So this is the biggest amount of symbols I can imagine for a long time, where you can just load this demo. You don't need to fill out so having traded on maybe 50 different brokers on demos and maybe 20 with real money before the nanny state kind of put a mask on you can't risk anything anymore, right? You have to stay home, stay safe. And, I think I've been doing that even before the lockdown, so that wasn't a problem. But the idea that when you go out to the store that you're a walking spreader event is so fucking retarded. I mean, this stuff is right out of Dumb Shit Weekly. I don't even know how we got here. Honestly, I guess everybody assumes that everybody's as smart or knows what everybody else knows. This is a big another mistake is that, you assume this guy must know. Oh no, everybody knows what I know. How could people be this stupid, right? No, trust me. There's people. Although when I meet people on the street, unless they're lying about their stupidity, I connect with people on certain things. But when it comes to topics, you may know a topic that's like you're so deep into a topic that you just have to talk about the weather with people. When it comes down to it, I know it's not working out with the band the last night. I played with the band and I just shouldn't say anything, because I don't know. But then I don't want to be like people think, wow, is he okay? Like he's not saying anything. It's tough because you never see yourself the way other people see you. and the market can't see us. So this is the other big, I think, flaw about the conspiratorial or this is also that some guy said he couldn't stand the no nonsense. Yeah, because it's not that no nonsense couldn't make money trading, but his view of the market is that it's out to get you, and that the traders, the bankers, they be moving them. I've heard people literally say that they know what MACD does, so the bankers push the market to trigger MACD to suck a bunch of goobers into a bad trade. I mean, this is ridiculous shit. This is like you might as well try to, put like a moving average on chemtrails and trade them. But so play back the market. Picture yourself in these trades. I'm going to run a 20 pip. Like no, this is if you're from the world of empowered trading. This is kill zone, 20 pip kill zone trading. But if you put the limits in the kill zone, I just couldn't understand for the life of me. And of course, I think it's the technique or the idea that you're going to go against the retail trader. And I guess this is sacrilege. You cannot go against. Okay, Biden's your president. Is he really? So then the guy. Listen, this is obvious proof that when they shut down the government in the United States, they do this thing, and every year they go, we ran out of money. Should we shut down the government? Dude, you've been printing money since fucking Jesus. So how about you just print some more money and shut the fuck up? We ain't got time for this. I don't get this whole charade about, yeah, well, Joe's only got a few more hits of crack. Like, he can't go rob another house? Where's it? It's a bottomless pit. Actually, there is a finite limit to that. How many people can you riot? How many statues can you tear down? And of course, this shows the wealth of the whole world that you can actually run a tote board of people dying, and then as soon as they install the new regime, Corona, pardon me? You could probably do a whole YouTube channel, but of course now I'm still seeing that I'm watching some anything that says the word president or the word Trump on the YouTube things, they have underneath that telling you who the president is. YouTube should be sued, a class action lawsuit, for this whole idea of we're going to put the latest problem. It's either Corona, it was either COVID-19, was always tagged at the bottom of a fucking video. I don't know how to get rid of that. So I'm tortured by that. But the worst torture in the fucking world is that they have, I never thought I'd live in a world like this. They have who's the president is, and below that these are the most secure elections since Jesus was nailed to the cross. And these are just like, how could you argue with that, right? Unarguable, don't dare. And, but try to break away from that. Of course, the correlation there again is that the mainstream thinking about trading is no different than the mainstream thinking about, you really think that there's no corruption? Now, we know there's corruption, and we know there's bad ticks, and we know that we know this is an over-the-counter market. Forex has no regulation. I mean, this is the other big mistake. And there's apparently, I don't think there is any Bitcoin regulation. In fact, Bitcoin's trading right now, every day, and it is the relief valve. In my opinion, it is the only 24/7 go-to market to find liquidity in transferring money and to maybe buy and sell that instrument. So you don't have to, like when I'm in Bitcoin, I'm just using it to transfer. But now if I was in there um, with a big transfer and held it overnight, at this point, when you're going up and down these many dollars, percentage wise, maybe not a big deal is when it was at 20 and it goes to 200, but still, what is going on there? So I'm going to play back this 15-minute chart, and it's going to be, I got the speed set here, I got the time date, so I know exactly what's going to happen in the beginning. This is the Ryan bot. It's going to run a little slower once I load my template on top. This is one he gave away. Okay, so here's the first trade I would have done, and I just know how I would see this window here. Okay, here was Asia, right? Breaks out, pull back. We know that there's a good buy here. This is the better buy, but I still would have bought this because, well, I could say it's a fear of missing out, but it's just obvious that I'm going to want to pick up a basket here. Now I'm selling into this new high, cashing out. I'm going to scalp. I have a 3-pip fixed spread here, so I'm showing a typical spread, including kind of the commissions in that. And we got to get out of that trade. And I sold at the market after 15 minutes up here too. If I was here to see it, I sold at the market because it's hard up into the trap and cashing out. And I'm playing back every tick so you can see people cashing out here. All those little bounces up and down, that's the scalpers getting out of that breakout. Now, is that going to be the engulf? Are we going to trap people here at the high of the day? If I already got in here and I exited here, do I go short the other way? Now, I can do that, but it's going to be in percentages. It's not going to be a hard switch buy, sell, because I don't know. I'm also waiting for 15 minutes to go by, and if it's up on the 15, I will sell at the market. One more ticket or a couple or a crop of tickets is, just have to judge this. You don't know you don't know what's going to happen next. And I still, and I maybe a 20 pip stops in here, but this is the 20 pip window grid, and I'm short. So we're waiting for, and I can speed it up a little bit. Okay, so we keep cashing out. Oh, shit. That's a little too fast to call it out. Okay, so just one notch below the fastest speed. Okay, so we cashed out of that trade. We made our 20 pips. We made our 10. And if you're going for the full auction, you're still holding. If you think we're going to take this out, and where are we going to take out next? So where's the next area? So I'm saying I'm going to buy heavy here, heavy here, heavy here, and these where I'll stop stacking up. Okay, I just bought that. I just scalped. Now you can't take profits until, okay, here you could have scalped. Now the last part of that 50-minute chart, people got out into that floor. Now we're going to buy more. And I got big ticket down here, and I got a lot of big tickets down here. Now these tickets could last 2 hours, 3 hours, 6 hours. Okay, a big crop here. And like I said, the pound, you need to have a 40 pip stop. You need a 60 pip stop, a 20 pip stop, a 16, 35 pip stop, all that. This is kind of white knuckle territory. Now I'm buying at the market because it's down hard 15. I bought at the market. Scalp out. Now here's where it's like, okay, am I in too big? Should I wait for something to cash out? I'm going to sit back. Don't touch it. Let it cash out. Okay, it's going to come cash out. The first logical exit here. The big kahuna exit for all of the scalp back to support becomes. Now the sellers come in. I have to get out of something. Here's 20 pip profit. And maybe I kind of getting hit here, but I have more dry powder. I have more orders here. I can buy this 20 pip window. And I would buy more down here. Now it's going to be, like I said, it's not a comfortable feeling because you're going against and I bought at the market here after 15 minutes trap below there. Now, the people that have very tight spreads, you can see they're getting out of these, making more money than the guy with a 3-pip spread. This Ryan bot just went long there. And so every time it's down hard on the 15, coming more buy limits, and this is where you'd say, well, I can't believe it. You already knew that you were going to buy down here, right? You already had this setting in for maybe. Now, if these tickets lasted 1 hour, they probably didn't get filled. They disappeared, like Chinese style. They got disappeared, and they evaporated. They deleted themselves. Now it's paying off, right? Another 10, 12 pip winner there, but you're in heavy down here. I said you really loaded up. You took out the low of Asia, and well, this is the big supply zone. And now another cash out. And to keep so if you bought heavy down here, now you're going to make that money, right? Or you're going to see this, that you're in heavy, really heavy here, and you can intervene on top of your predetermined exit by just saying, okay, just give me everything out. Like I'm up. If you bought in too heavy to this drop, and here's where people don't leave enough room for the fatter tickets that need to come in below here, right? And that's going to make you that 30 pips. You just made 30 pips. If you trade maybe 20% at the market, so you bought here at the market, you bought here at the market, these are 3 downs. Maybe you're in 20K from 3 downs. But all your pre-loaded stuff, with pre-loaded exits too. Like now, maybe you're out of everything, and you know, you like I got to buy here at the market. 15 minutes down, just made a new low, I'm in. It's difficult because, well, you could also sold here. Like with the same rule, in other words, you have to realize that there are people that are going to sell here and here into this void, right? They're on the other side of trade. Now it's worth it, right? Now you just made 40 pips in 15 minutes. You're out. And I would say I'm flat. Okay? We could take out the high. This could be the news. And the British pound, this is it moves 3 times more than the euro on average. It just is. So the spread's not a problem now. See, you just cashed out. And I'd say that you're done. That trade, even if you thought you were getting beat up here on this shit and you're pulling off these, it doesn't compare to the loss that the guy who thought he was going to sell into that, he's more beat up, I think, in a way, because he sold here. Oh, I get this, take me back to, it sold here. He sold here. He sold here, and then they just crushed him. If his stop was here, they crushed him. You can't say stuff like, well, you know, this, that, range trading. Range trade is killing you. The trend traders are destroyed. You know, the trend traders have this utopian view. Well, my moving averages say, and then they get this breakdown of this, and if it closes, I've seen people do videos, if it closes down here, then I'm going short. And they're like, yeah, we were doing good on that trade and I'll let my profits run. You're getting annihilated here. And look at this 15-minute turn on a dime. If you're ever going to be the sniper, it's going to be on the market, right? At the market, you buy, boom, cash out, boom. And because it's a little bit deeper, there's where the fuel's coming from. Look at that. Wow. A beast. Now I got buy limits here. Now in the real world, what I would do right now, if this was really happening, now here's where you have to, when the market heats up like this, you got to trade wider. I got a buy limit here, got a buy limit here, got a buy limit here, here. And once again, down here, I got way more buy limits, but oof, it's going to be hard to get down there. I think the next thing is they're going after this, they're going after this, and it's like, you know, here's all the Trumpers up here. We got to go clear them out. And this is going to be the 1 hour, maybe a 2 hour script, 3 hour. That's the idea. These last longer. Okay, we're getting filled. The people that are selling off this supply zone, you know, there's so many reasons to get in here for the short. Okay, you scalped out. Here's the market structure, guys. Top becomes bottom of the 15. Buy here with a tight stop here. Yeah, it's bottomless pit of trades. And if you're going to go flat after every 45 minutes, every 3 bars, or every 2 hours, you know. Look at this. Look at this battle, 20 pip battle here. And that stuff there. So I can go flat there. You know, I can be flat right now. I'm just tired of riding. You know, there may be a guy out there, and I'm sure there is. He's got a moving average like this. He went long down here, and he goes, I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, I'm up on the trade. Yeah, I moved my stop to here. What the fuck is wrong with you? I can't do that trade anymore. I just can't. I can't sit there and watch my equity go down 1,000 and up 1,000 and think, why didn't I just fucking cash out, get back? Because it takes more work, right? Why don't I dump the whole thing up here when I knew there was going to be a problem? There could be resistance up there, and just dump and reload. Because then I got to repay the commissions. Yeah, you know what? But I'm flat and I got equity, and I can sit back and I can put a crop of sells up here, and I can come back here and go back in and trade lightly, go from light to heavy. I just don't want to be this, you know, looking at, like this no-nonsense guy. He's got 20 fucking currencies up. Dude, pick one. Okay, fuck one girl to bits and then go to the next one, right? You know, with the slut analogy, you can only fuck one at a time. Come on. And you find a good slut, you keep her, right? So, you know, no offense to sluts. Here's another one. This is the trend. This is the trend trade. Baby, pull back. You know, this is the promised land, but we know we're going to sell up here. This is the trap. We got to start selling up there. In the pound, now this is another danger. If this is the high of 5 years back, you got to be aware of that. Okay, the first sellers came in. They grabbed that. And they're going to cash out. Boom. They're out. That's the scalping off the high of the day. Can they keep breaking it out? Yeah. You know what? They probably are. But those guys made their money in 15 minutes right there. Now they're gonna keep crushing it north. We're selling into that. The higher it goes, the more we sell. And if it locks up there, here comes the 15-minute end of the session. It's up on the 15 sell. You don't know if it's going to keep going up. See, you're wrong. It's not going to keep going up. Another cash out. Maybe you're still holding some of that position. I'm never going to, I can't do this. I'm selling 40 standard lots up there. Okay, if I did, I'd be out. I guarantee you right now. Because they're coming after this guy's stop now, right? Here's the buy zone now, right? And at the end of, you can't even wait for that to close. And they probably are going to come after this. But that's a high probability 20 pips there. And I'm going to come back here and buy here. So no shame in being flat. And the guy that waited for this hole in golf, he's like, oh, dude, no. They're going to crush that. Okay, I'm gobbling up these on limits now. I got a power pack down here. Big crop. Look at the end of the 15. You just see that at the very last minute of that 15-minute chart, how it just whipped down? And look at this. Perfect. Look at, nailed it. Right? You don't have to wait for no order blocks. Man, I know people are going to do this. They're going to look back on this and say, what is this? Is this a box? Okay, they're going to look back on this and make these claims that, can't you see what's going on here? It's a conspiracy. Okay, so this window here, we knew this was always going to be the place to buy. And on the 15 we bought, and it barely closed down here. Okay, now you have to keep rinsing and repeating these tickets because, and now we just got out of something right there, and 15 minutes goes up, the sellers come in. But we don't have to worry about waiting for that 15, because if you're trying to make those 10 to 20 pips here, you just made them, right? You made them in that. in that box. Okay, now we're going to buy more here, more here, more here. But look how the guy that sold the top of that, he's just sitting back going, yeah, you know what? They're probably going to come here and I'm going to get out here. And this is what I call the engulfing auction, whatever you want to call it. I know it's mind-blowing, but we have a bigger ticket here than we have here. We bought this whole window. And when you watch the pound move like this, you're like, I can't believe they're going to take it down here. It's really kind of the only fun of trading is like, are they really going to go? Man, look at that. And as it comes back, like there's not a lot of pain here time-wise. You're going to wait 15 minutes to a half hour to get paid here. Boom, you're out. Now, that is the scalp. People are going to, this top become a bottom right there. It's as simple as can be. This whole idea of here's a top become a bottom. I'm a trend trader. I'm going to buy, hold. I'm going to let my profits run. You're just going to get your ass kicked. I'm sorry. That is the most. Yeah, I built this algorithm. Runs on the 15, kind of good, but then, if I back tested it, and that's not even scaled in back testing. Look at it. There you go. See, wonders never cease. And look how, as they nick that wick, the buyers come in. There's just tickets sitting down there, feel the other direction. It's so stupid. The problem with this price action is you can't harness it or make sense of it with clouds and all that bullshit. It's just pure supply and demand situations here. And to make this correlation of the other earlier walk down, we're seeing the same kind of like zigzag down, zigzag down. There's no 5 drive, 3 drive. This, when you start to attach your brain to like, I'm looking, this is a 3 drive. I used to watch this guy. I think he's dead now. Or no, I guess probably still alive. But they were in these trade rooms in Barcelona, and they were it's still there. I think it's called FX Street, and this looks like a 3. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Okay, you're just ridiculous. Look at somebody just made 20 pips there. They bought this, imagining a zero spread. They bought here, they dumped here, and they're out. So if you're going to do the at the market trades, you're going to be long here, here, here. You're long three tickets or 3 pulls. Are we going to get crushed here? The end of the day is coming. Here's the 5 p.m. and man, we just been all over the map today. It's like people are just they're crushing anybody that can't handle a 80 pip move. I mean, this is just incredible. I mean, on the euro, this is going to be 30 pips. But the pound, I'm just saying, anybody that trades the pound, you got to be like, it's a whole different. If you're going to run a pip stop of 20 pips, you can hardly do it. You got to be like 30 pips, 40 pips. You can do some 20 pippers, but they're going to crush you out. And look at this thing again. Are there sellers up here? I don't know. It's kind of dead. It's the end of the day. So I'm waiting for Asia now. Let me speed it up to the ultimate speed. And I'll just blow through it because it's all pretty boring. But look how the people that are just range trading this, they're going, I don't even know why you guys try to trend trade this shit. Why you bother? Like I said, unless your conception, unless your view of the trend is this, it's in a downtrend and you're a seller. Okay, it's great. But it comes to an end here, doesn't it? And some of these brokers have slightly different bids when it comes down here. But this is going to, I would call that support. Does it mean that you're going to get in here and hold this position for 3 months and make $1 million? Probably not, because I just know that my buy zone here is going to be here. And we could come down here and then go up into Asia. Who knows? Look at that. They're going after it. Selling at the market. Every 15 minutes it's up. This is your trend, right? Your trend trade. Oh, you see, I'm right about trend trading all of a sudden. So funny. Let me go for max speed here. Oh, Jesus. I don't even know. Now I got some kind of issues with this new recording machine as far as drawings go. I'm going to go max speed. So this is going to be kind of blistering speed here. This is for the crackhead. Oh, fuck. I can't even. So this computer is apparently. See, the problem with that next speed But you can see what I'm saying here. Look at these 20 pip windows here. This can be pretty fast. We have to think fast here. Here, if you sold into that, you see how you made your 20 pips? See here how you made this? You're buying this window here. This is going to be some rip-roaring shit. Now, like I said, I don't know where we're at in the world, but we knew up here, this could be no man's land up here. You got to be very careful selling into that. I'm just saying, if this is a 5-year high back here, but see how selling here, your trap of tickets that you left up here and abandoned, some of them not, like I said, if you're going to grid trade this, oh, see, this is Ryan's robots grid trading this. I think he's going short probably. Look at how many pips, right? Okay, so Ryan's doing, his robot's doing what I'd see it cashed out, right? It threw a basket of cells up there. It's a grid trading bot. I mean, somebody asked me, I don't know which one this is. For you to do that, it's doing what I would do, but the problem, you see how the grids are just linear in there? Whereas if you do a more precision drop, here you're going to sell that tippy top, and here's the auction. See the engulf? Just like that, boom. Boom, as the kids say. Look at that. Selling new highs, you just made, in 15 minutes, you just made 60 pips. In 15 minutes, maybe less. Look at the vicious pullback here. So let me zoom out a little bit. Let's go for that ICT view of the 15. See, ICT would have you believe that, well, all you got to do here is look for that trade block right about here and sell. I mean, are you fucking telling me you're going to babysit? Are you kidding me? You woke up at 3. Sometimes I wake up at 2 a.m. and I am ready to go. But what if I miss that setup? I'm like, oh, damn. It's going to risk 2% of my account. Yeah, I got. If you get $2 million in your account, risk 2%. See, here's the buy. That's order block down there. See what's going on. But look at this void here. And this is an older void, and then 20 pips. But look at it struggle. And then I got my buy limits down here, and I got my sell limits on these tippity tops. Oof, a nice crush. And I have to be prepared. Here's another big deep buy. We tagged that. So we tagged that. We made our 40 pips. Now I'm looking for more crash. Look at this. This is the best, right? Look at that. Just a little bit lower. And then how hard is it to look for a little bit lower price? Wow. Man. So you made your 40 pips. Now you're buying into this again. And I would say the same thing. I don't know what's below here on the big picture, but there is your 40 pips. You bought. Now you have to imagine you have a crop of limits in here. And once again, rinse and repeat, and it could go lower. I could just do nothing but put buy limits in here. Yes, I could have sold this for 40, but I know I got to get out here because I know there's buyers there. You just got to know it, right? Just watch the price action. More buying. Be careful now. I don't know where, like I don't have the big picture. I can't see. This may be the top of the pound from, I think I'm only going back a year. So this could have the election in it. This could be brutal. That's why it's not going to, 2% of your account's a stupid metric, because it's about, are you going to sell, are you going to trade anywhere from 10K to 100K each day? What is your threshold for pain? Now this is Asia. And look at this situation. This is, if you consider this to be a new lows, we're under the floor. We accumulate under the floor. This is a 15-minute chart, so a lot of zigzags. Bust up in Asia. Everybody that bought this sell-off on the daily is going, oh man, I hope it retraces. I'm in so fucking heavy. Ryan bot's selling here. I don't get why. Maybe because it made an up move here. I think the Ryan bot's going to get crushed on this one, because I think we could come up and go after this now. And look at this, 40 pips, 20 pips, 40 pips, 20. I mean, this is a lot of, you know, but this is going to be the thing. Sellers will be here. So maybe Ryan's bot will make money. He's selling up into this, right? So his system is going against, for whatever reason, his trigger point. And I do think his robot, like I said, if it can survive this amount of punishment, it'll cash out on the way back here. Okay, but now they got to take this out and get some fuel to go down now. So maybe he'll make money now, right? So it's a real sick game. There, see? It didn't go for the whole. It has some threshold. So he's gridding into it. It looks like a 20 pip grid. I don't know if I have the default set or I changed this robot. But look how vicious this is. This is the floor that becomes the new, so if you're going to buy this crush, you had to cash out to the floor, which these people did. They bought that heavy crush. If you bought every 15 minutes that's dropping, you got to be running and I do run 40 to 100 pip stops on this, but I'm only risking $10 on that trade. I've got a basket of deplorables down here ready to buy this and feed off of that. See how critical this window was to make your 40 pips with a 20 pip stop? And look at this crush. So if his robot hadn't cashed out, this thing could be destined to just take out this high. Now we got to sell above here. Here's Asia. We're going to buy below here now. This is a good speed to play it back at. I mean, if you're impatient. We're going to buy below here. We have buys here. Okay. We cashed that out. We scalped to that floor so that we picked up this. We also were retesting. And we're kind of coming back to this. Okay, I'm out of that trade. Am I selling into this? I'd have to look at the dailies because I don't want to sell into a fucking 5-year high because you can go screaming up 100 pips. But this is a 15-minute chart, right? If you're scripts, and you can write 15-minute scripts. So on the tablet, I could run double clicks of 30-minute and 15 minutes and capture this. If it's valid, if the market can drive up that fast, I'll get into that trade. So I'd be short right now. And I'm just about to scalp out of that. Right? I took the 20 pips off of that. So look how this thing 20 pips is a good window. 20 to 40 pips. Now the swing trader can handle a 60 pip entry window. And if you're the guy that's long from here, this is a different world too. You bought down here, you scalped all this insanity, and you're still long from here. And you're like, okay, I can add to the position here. And that's a different kind of trading because maybe this is the 4-hour pullback or this is a 2 hours down. That's probably 4-hour down bar. Unfortunately, I can't go to the 4-hour chart in the middle of this playback. But here's your selling new highs back to the breakout point of Asia, or you're buying. You're coming back to the so range traders are making money on both sides of that. Once again, people are always selling new highs for that 20 pip pullback, right? Maybe more. Maybe we do come after this. Now, this is the mind-blowing thing about these markets is they could come down here now, and you're like, wait a minute. What the fuck? Really? Yeah, it's that. See, boom. So if you had sold this, it's not magic, man. There was buyers here. There's a crop of insane buyers here in this 20 pip window. Right? You could still be holding from this and go, oh, yeah, I'm just going to, dude, we're going to come after here. And you'd be surprised. You can't hardly believe it. There you go. Look at this nice little trap here. So if you're going to do the, I guess this is an ICT trade. I don't know. You babysit it. You wait for, hope you got out of that trade because that trade is not around anymore. See how vicious it is? Look at this is the floor. People scalp to the floor, bing, bang, boom, accumulation underneath, and then rip. Another is auction within an auction. New highs with a new. I just picked up with the round number there. Picked up 20 pips, 40 pips, Okay, 40 pips, I'm out. How hard can this be? I think it's very difficult if you're waiting for your MACD on the 1-hour chart to trade right now. You can see how harebrained that is. Like I said, anybody who wants to trade Forex, put the 15-minute chart up. Play back the market and ask yourself, you see your trade plan in there? I do. It took me a long time to see it. Because I was like, you know what? My Takanashi not at my Hakanashi, and I just don't know if I want to take this trade. Besides, I got to go get drunk in about an hour, so I don't know if it's going to fit into my schedule. Okay, so let me go to something that's going to be a little bit easier is the half-hour chart. But no, this is a really good tool because we didn't have this in the old days. You could not take and simulate the market and imagine yourself making 20, 40, 60 pips with a 20, 30, 40 pip stop. So you do want to make the stops tight. But if I'm only going to lose a few K, like I'm not that hurt. Like I said, that is probably the most, and you get nitpicky, like, God, I don't want to lose any K on this. Like I want to absorb this whole, but you're becoming a swing trader at that point. If you're going to tell yourself, I want to take in this whole smash down and hold it until we make it to here. Great, right? But then when you see the market keep going up, you're like, wow. And if you have so much effort and so much focus put into one entry, you're so exhausted. But imagine freeing yourself from this idea that you have to ride this dumb fuck trends when you could just make your 20 to 40 pips in this bullshit, and maybe you're kind of long. Maybe you're 20% long. And if it's true that 80% of the market's ranging, which is true, then why not trade 80% size, dump it, hold 20% of the trend and say, yeah, I'm long 20% of this thing. And maybe I'm going to add another here, but make some of these scalps, right? Make it okay to scalp out because you know what's coming next. And look at the Ryan bot nailed it. He sold into that. He cashed out when he got to that threshold. But look at this, right? What if you were the guy that went long down here and you're like, wait a minute. And we're always that guy. Somebody's always in there going, I'm glad I got out of 80% of my position up here because look at this fucker betray me. This is like a fucking rhino. This is like so-called constitutionalists going, yeah, the Constitution is basically something we use when we're angry, when it fits our narrative. And this is also another example of this is itching to be filled. We never get to here, though. But look at this 40, 60 pip window. Inside of here, you have to know that you're going to get stopped out of some of your tight stops, but if you martingale in, you're going to make it all up here. And I don't have this robot set to martingale. And the time it's going to get blown up is that, what if this just keeps tanking? But the robot cannot see structure. It cannot interpret, well, you know what? If we ever come down here, can we get there in how much time? This is maybe 4 hours straight down. Or maybe this is 2 hours straight down. My question is, I'm trading like options theory because I'm saying our auction, which is an options, have expirations. They have deltas when the volatility kicks up. Even if you're in a put and the market goes screaming up, your puts go up in value because volatility's gone up, and all options go up. We're here that we don't have that delta issue. We just have raw price. Once again, the the coming back into this pocket is the entry. For me. Now, for you, it may be waiting for your MACD crossovers, and that's good. That's all well and good. I ain't gonna live that long. I'm not waiting for my indicators to catch up. The stuff that this guy says. Oh man, I mean, I understand, and another reason I think No Nonsense has a lot of viewers because he's on this this podcast thing. I think people are driving their car listening to him talk, and there's not a lot going on there visually. And he's not really ever looking at price. He rarely gets the chart out. It's all about this. Oh, look at that beautiful entry here. So a nice clip the wings there. And another, so here you say to yourself, can they go here? Yeah. Okay, I just bought this, everything below here, and this is where the bigger tickets are. These little notches on the 15. So I want to go to the half-hour chart. It's going to be a little bit easier to say, I'm going to only pull the trigger every half hour if I get a signal. Man. So whatever, this seems like a real brutalization. It's going to keep tanking, but look how you make it all back and then some. Now we just went full engulf. We capture this. We just took out the high of the day, and there's sellers up there. And they're betting that it's going to come back into the fold, come back to fair value to here, and maybe actually go the other way. And we've seen that before. And it's just tragic. It's mind-blowing. Because you're like, no, it's breaking out. No, really, no, it's not breaking out, is it? Okay, coming into Asia again. Now, I'm going to be selling into Asia here, I can tell, for the limit stuff. But now we got this big ripe. It's always setting up. They're forming. After the market moves, we get the formation of the left behind prices. And now we're coming into them. So the guy selling up here in Asia, he made 40 pips. He made 40 pips. And we haven't even got to the London breakout. That London breakout thing is such a joke. I mean, you got to be kidding me. Breakout of what? The day? The half hour? The 15? Okay, so back into the abyss. Look how this thing's just never going anywhere. And you're long from back here. And you've got to stop in because you've been told, well, buy and hold. Look at it. It's working in my favor. I'm long from here, but my equity's all the way back to, I can't do it. I can't do it. Like I've done these trades and I think, I got long here. We're doing so well in that trade. And then the next day I'm like, how can I ever be a trader? What's going on here? Because to make a lot of money, you got to be in a big position. And I'm like just getting crushed. I can't watch. I mean, I don't know. The no nonsense guy doesn't talk about this. How are you enduring that? Look at this. Fucking A, they're coming after my, they stopped me. What the fuck? Are you serious? Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me. This is where I got in. I should do a video about, like, fuck. Oh, finally it's going my way now. God, it's about fucking time. Oh, I'm just gonna get out. Fuck it. And I've done that. I go, I'm just gonna get out. Fuck it. Now, I guess this would be, see, good thing I got out, right? See, look how that was. Well, because I think structurally, when we came back to this ICT order block bullshit or whatever you want to do, just big rally into this. Yeah, because people are like, maybe the trend's changed. Maybe we're in a downtrend now. I don't know. I check my indicators again. Look at this. Now, this is what I'm talking about. You want to be buying this. You want to buy here. You want to buy here, and you really want to buy here, and it's just inconceivable. And the spreads probably got wide here, so I don't know if this is really valid. Oh, no, this is probably valid, because this is an hour before 5 p.m. You bought in here, and now you're like, I knew I was right about this thing's going up, and maybe we'll take this out now and this, but we know there's sellers here. We know there's sellers here. And I hope you took your 40 to 60 pips and 20 pips off the table here. Because you can just come back here and buy it. But this is going to be a high frequency. All these nooks and crannies are only available on the 15-minute chart. So let's go to the next time frame. We'll go up to the half hour. Same data set, so we can kind of like use that as a, look at that. Some guy had a sell limit up here. He just made 20 pips clean, 30. That's stupid. He just made 40. He just made 60. He didn't get out of the selling the very tippy top. You see how stupid this is? Why are people trend trading? I don't fucking know. You just can't even imagine. Why waste your whole day? Why wait fucking a week for a setup and an entry? How are they doing it? I'm so impatient that I just don't. I think the longer I live, the less patience I have. I mean, you have to be patient to be a trader. No, I don't think so. Not going to happen. I guess you have to have patience here because you're going to have to wait at least 4 hours to get paid here. Look at the vicious. Look at that. Asia starts off nice and quiet down here, and then holy shit, look out. Once again, I'm short. I just made 40 pips. I just made 60 pips selling new highs. Now this, you got to be careful. If you're coming into weekly, monthly highs, you're 10-year high. But is it going to matter? Look at this. A total auction from stem to stern. if you're getting killed trading the pound, this is why. You bought here in Asia. I'm up on this trade. What? London opens, and what happened in the London breakout? Oh, well, there you go. See now, you probably didn't have your target set for 100 pips. I probably didn't. I didn't. Let's not. We know there's sellers up here, and look at that nice 40 pip winner. But could you really say to yourself, I know this is gonna be a monster move, so I'm really loading the wagon down here. No, I don't know that. So I'm gonna say, I'm gonna treat this like a typical trade, and I know there's a sell up here. So with these drops, now on the tablet, I'm not going to trade heavy because I want to do hand precision drops here on the desktop. I can't drag and drop on the tablet. I cannot drag and drop these things. Look at that. Look at that auction. Are you kidding me? Didn't quite take this out, but I'm sure this was a news event. In this pocket here, once we trap these guys, were you counting on making 100 pips from that? No, but like I said, if you miss the sell, you have to buy here, you got to buy here, you got to buy here, you got to buy here. Right? You made your 40 pips from buying this. Now you're buying down here. Very scary, but well worth it. You made your 40 to the floor, and you're buying again. You're going to make those 20, 40 pips. Look at them gobble this stuff up here. Look at this black. Look at all this wickage accumulation under this floor. Man, 40 pips clean there. 60. Okay, 80 pips off of here. It's just this is the most vicious in the pound. I'm telling you what, man, it's a big fucking deal. It's the most expensive currency. It moves viciously. It has no respect for your fucking moving average or your trend line. I'm so sorry. I mean, you could do the trend line thing, but I'm saying it's just not on a 15-minute chart. I mean, I'm just going to trade supply and demand. Okay, the sellers should come in here, but if they take this out, Katie bar the door, because we're going to go busting up so hard. I'll be a seller above there. And now I can lay these in for 8 hours. I could set it and forget it. I may not get picked up on every ticket. Once again, I'm a buyer down here. This is still ripe for the buying. We could still come back here. In fact, if we trap up here, here's the sellers. They'll be cashing out down here. If they get there in golf. If this, because like I said, I don't know what's to the left of here. We could be into insanity. Another 40 pip window. All the scalpers will be out here at the breakout point. You may never see it. We could be making some insane highs there. Like I said, now you're getting stopped out. Now you got to take those 20 pips. So what you do is you can have where you get stopped out, you're flat. You just made it back. So the Ryan bot cashed out on that too. I think she went short on that. We all know this is the breakout pullback confirmation guys are going to get in here. So that's a different kind of confirmation than going with the flow, but it's also a confirmation trade. In other words, you got your buy limit pending at the previous breakout point to get picked up here to go long, but it may not happen. These guys may have grabbed you by the you know what I'm talking, and then they gonna rip it down here and just blow everybody's mind. You know, anybody that's thinking about it's in an uptrend and you can't be a counter trend trader and you can't go against the crowd and how dare you. And this is the other thing No Nonsense talks about. We don't trade reversals. Well, why not? Look now, so here's if you were gonna go long, where do you think people's stops are? The bulls' stops are here. They're trailing stops. Okay, so you just made a measly 60 to 80 pips here just buying that. In 15 minutes, it's done. I still think it's it's destined to keep making new highs here. But in the meantime, who doesn't want to make their 40 pips or whatever? Okay, now we just got the scalpers. They have they're waiting 15 minutes to get paid here. Okay, now they're a half hour, 1 hour. Oh, bam, they just got paid. So, and now we could do a full engulf. And this is what I think just blows people's minds, that just pulled back 40 to 60 pips off that top, and it could still keep pulling back. And they're like, what is going on here, man? I mean, this is like going to take forever to make money. Because look at, I'm buying that. I just bought that. Or I'm still short from here. So the guy is still short from here is up 80, almost 100 pips right now. Well, we don't trade reversals. I know. Why not? Okay. Look at that. You're buying down here. Asia again. Now, I do think we could plunge. And so here's where you have to be careful again. This big void, this looming void down here, which some people, Pike doesn't think this exists, but this is going to be crazy if we make it into this. We could crush straight down. There, boom. So, and did you buy that? Look at this 15-minute move. So be very careful of the trend traders that are saying a buy and hold. Look at this. Okay, Ryan Bot's getting in seriously the other way on this. This is where they're going to shear your nuts off. I'm sorry, your 20 pip stops. Bye-bye. And this is Asia. But I said this, like I said, this has been looming. If you know how to trade that area, you know you had if you martingaled in, you bought a 1K, a 2K, a 3K, a 4K, 5K, you're in a 10K down here, you're out of that ticket. So the Ryan Bot cashed out. Okay, let me delete this. But that was some ferocious sell-off. Now let's go to the 1 hour chart. We'll just pass the half hour chart. I want to see what that looks like on the 1 hour, because this is frightening on the 30-minute. But you can see how this is the gobble zone, and everybody that's going to do the scalp to the floor, they're all going to get out of that giant position they built here. Here was the place to buy and pull back. This is why you have to get out along the way. We may never make it back here. May never happen. You could have bought here. This volatility here is insane. And I'm not sure the exact start date, but look at the controversy here. Now, the sellers are supposed to come in there. They made their 20 pips, their 40 pips. But we left a void behind up here now. So here's the void. The other looming void up here. All right. They're walking this back. So if I'm on a tablet, I would press the button, throw in a crop of 2 hour, 4 hour orders here to pick up something. I'm not going to win on every trade. So that is always going to be, I want to win on every trade. Who doesn't, right? Okay. Picked up something there. 20 pips off of that. Still got buy limits here. And as long as it's cashing out, and that's hard written into the scripts, you're making the 20, 40 pips here. Are we accumulating for a big run up, you know? And I'm okay with making money during this churning process. And the singular trade guy is just, you know, you have to watch this happen and think, oh man, you know, are they going to come after, if you're long right now, are they coming after me? So see, look at the feeding zone off of that. Look at the reaction off of this. That's that order block thing you've been talking about. So look at that, man. Now, I would say that this London psychosis, you are going to see 40, 60, 80 pips. You're going to make $800 on a standard lot. But to put one standard lot on a ticket here and keep risking $200 to make $800 to me is completely retarded. It's too much punishment. I don't want to get stopped out of 2 trades and lose $400 knowing I'm going to make $1,200 that day, because I don't have to do that. I could actually drag over 10 times, put a standard lot in here with exits that are going to make 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 pips out. There's no pressure. The trade's over. Look at that. This spent the whole day doing nothing but going up and down. A bullshit. Now this is the range trader's dream. We hunted that. We hunted that. There's the engulf. At the end of the day, it's a fucking doji, right? If you did a candlestick on the end of the day, it's a doji. Opened where it closed. Nothing to see here. No. That software trades in decimals. Your vote's completely safe with us. Now we're coming into that void, and you have to be a seller if you have to be a seller off here heavy and off of here. And you're just, like most of these trades, you cross your fingers and you hope it's going to pull back if you're selling into that. But the danger is, okay, so you cashed out. See, now you have to be willing to sell more up here and keep coming in front with sells, and it's completely against everything everybody's taught you. This is the confirmation traders are going to try to buy here. It broke out, it pulled back, and they get their ass kicked a lot of time in the pound because this could go full retard and go like this. But that's my edge, is I'm going to buy that. I'm assuming that's going to happen. And if I didn't hold the short from here, which is a white knuckle trade, I know people that sold into this. Never forget that this trade here, this ticket that seemed like a kind of a crazy entry with a wide enough stop, entering here made money, and it's still making money if that stop was here for that one particular trade. And don't even talk about back testing that, because unless you're going to just put 0.001% of your account into these three tickets, right? It's all about ticket management, trade management, and it's all about all these trades. Look at in Asia, this thing comes ripping down. Well, you know I've got my buy limits down here by now, right? And I made my 20, 40 pips. I'm good. I'm buying this plunge. I don't have to trade this move even. But wouldn't you like to be the guy that's still short from here, going, yeah, I'm waiting for it to come here. Here's my exit. Stem to stern. I can't do it. I can't wait that, because I see this on the chart and I go, you know what? That's still too much equity swing for me. Look at this crush. So are you still holding from here? Bless your heart. I don't know, I'm not that guy, but maybe you're holding the one with the, so you can have a 300 pip stop on a fucking script to make 300. You're almost at profits. That's commingled with all the other scripts. But if you do say take all profits, that's where you're going to lose that big giant ticket. And that's why I do just go, you know what, take me flat, because another Mark Douglas quote is that a professional trader doesn't even have a problem getting in and out of the market. They're not holding on for dear life, waiting for their indicators to catch up, hoping this trade makes them rich. It's this trade. The idea that this trade has to work is completely like this mask I'm wearing has to protect me from Corona. Can I just take that mask and unlubricate it if it's lubricated and stuff it up your ass? Because if you think that's how to live your fucking life, you know, these are Forex traders. I mean, I'm sorry, these are retail people trying to deal with Mother Nature. You can't. There was a famous guy that just took the vaccine. Dude, the vaccine's worse than the fucking Corona. Ride it out. Be a man. And the only reason Trump, loved him to death, the only reason he went that way is because that's what the mob wants. What the mob wants, look at this. So I bought this, you know that already. I'm scalped out, boom. So I to buy this, yeah, deep pockets. You're going to need the 100 pip stop on that. That may be a profitable trade here, but if you're martingaling in, so you made your 60 pips, I just bought more. Just buy new lows. You're going to lose some of these tickets. It's just how it is. You're going to lose a couple, right? Wow. Scalping out. Even the Ryan bot's getting out. Okay. Oof, we're out of the whole position. Boom. It's incredible. The British pound is incredible. At least this point in time. Look at that, all the way back to here, and people are getting out, and they're completely flat as a board after that. And the new sellers came in there, and you got this little cute trap up here. Another IC2 order block, I suppose. Some bullshit there. Here, once again, this subtle kind of gets quiet, pullback, bought there, and you made 20 pips. And maybe you blew up your account buying into this plunge. But see, if you had a 300 pip stop, see how it all becomes great? And this is probably Sunday, right? This is Sunday. This is the gap. Yeah, this is Sunday. It's 14th of December now. Brutal, huh? You could have sell limits here that you placed that last all week. And so when they came into Sunday night, you made your 40 pips off of this. So think about, in the pound, you're going to look for 20, 40, 60, 80, 100 pip targets with a 20, 40, 60, 80 pip stop. If you're a break-even trader. If you want to get more precise, you're going to have 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 pip stops to make 40 pips, 50. You can write that script. You could have placed that script in this little pocket here in Asia, and you're sitting back and going, you know what? All I did was buy a pullback, and maybe the same thing with your market tickets. And that, I'll go to the half-hour chart for that, because you don't want to overtrade that at the market. Here, once again, selling up here. You just made 100 pips off the top. So who's making money here, right? You sold this window. Holy shit. And all the way back to the starting gate, right? You bought, wait a minute. I bought Asia. Oh, it's really bullshit, you know. Maybe you're long from here. They might come after that price, right? They're going to come after you. They got a list. Who'd you vote for? Oh, you're long. Oh, you're a bull. Yeah. Single you out, come back and crush you. Oh, that's the end of the data set. Okay, that wasn't. I played back a. Yeah, let's see how Ryan Bot did. Let me go see the stats here. Oh, that was a kind of a short ride. I guess it only went back a couple months, so. And you can't trade on the weekends. Okay, let's take a look here. Here's this magical. He got some his 14 period or something. 14.5 period. That's his indicator. Let's see what this thing did. I'm curious to see if we made any money. Oh, look, it made money. See, now this is the Ryan bot, and it's grid trading it. I don't know if I have the source code for this, but I got the robot, and it makes money. It's doing what. It's funny because I tease about Ryan Brown, but because I think his robot's doing what I would do, but you can see how I would make more money because I'm doing what I see on the chart. I'm picking pockets. But even the crude form of this thing going counter trend, right? He's making money. I'm going to put this on. I'll see how it performs on the 1 hour chart. I don't know if it's going to change anything. It's just trading 1Ks, I think. I have to set on the most. This is version 8. And he's got all these robots and stuff. But his robots are going to get, you can see how the robot, if it's a martingale mode, it's making money here, but it's going to get destroyed if you don't turn it off during, the 2016 elections, when Trump was not supposed to win. And he won. Wow. But he was rigged not to win this time, and he was expected to win. And it was very low volatility event there. There's been more volatility from Corona. Surprise events, like these are floating currencies, could go anywhere. Okay, all I'm going to do is switch to the 1 hour. I was going to do the half hour, but it's too close. I better slow this down. Every tick. Okay, same template here. Let's see. I might have to speed it up actually. Okay, I'm going to go full speed. Right, just to keep. Man, this computer can't handle me closing this window down. Okay. Should have got an I9. Okay, so there you can see how these supply and demand zones, and you can picture yourself in these trades a little bit easier maybe. And as far as trading at the market, there's only 2 buys at the market here. Nice and clean. Here it's easier to see your supply zone to buy and your limits. And now we can see the broad view that you be very, very careful selling into this because of the abyss above you. And this is that trade where you just sold this 20 pip slot, and it is frightening to sell it because what if it keeps crushing up? But you can rest assured that if your orders only last 8 hours or 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, you won't be involved in those trades. And see how this seems like a tame situation. Where on the 15-minute chart it was like, holy shit, is that going to just keep tanking? Same data set. Here we can see we could have a basket of buy limits down here, but this is why this is going to be the critical window right here. Right? How big is that window? Can you sustain this amount of sellage, you know? And that came back to the breakout point in 1 hour. After 1 hour, 2 hours, that trade's over. No more buying. And I just think it's supply and demand. Yeah, you can see that the forces of supply and demand are going to create a overall tug of war that you're going to see in the overall price where we go. But the range trading is just so much more money. Like you can have a 20 pip stop to make 80 pips. If you're in 22K on separate tickets and you take advantage of that trade, you know, that's a trade. I don't even know if Ryan Bot's going to be triggered now because we're on this. Looks like the Ryan Bot's going to make more money on a 15-minute chart and a 5 because they're going to take advantage of those sweeping moves. Here it's not even doing a trade. So there was the crush there, if you remember the last trade, but the last playback, but since this is not much data, this window here was the ultimate kind of tag and bag, you know, took out the low of that day. This was that doji day I was talking about where we just did nothing but this shit. So you can see how you're sell limit here, and if you're a person that has a life, a day job, you sleep at night, you do things other than trade. Buying the retest to Asia, selling new highs here, you could have placed those limits here in Asia. Bookends, cashed out, buys and sells, or just buys only with that exit. And here's where it paid off to sell this. You scalped at 20. It went higher, and this is where people are like all giddy about that trend. So see how vicious that was, and wow, right? So stand back if you're going to trade the pound and look how vicious. This probably doesn't happen very often. I said this is the one that who's prepared for that. You might have been prepared for it here on this time frame because you'd say, man, look at the fueling area here. And if we ever get up here, we sell it. This is what I did on the British pound, although it took a long time because we made a 3-year high on Friday, and we did a distribution up here which looked totally different than this. On the 4-hour chart, it was forever. It was fucking 12 hours up here, and then it came ripping down. But these are always valid buy and sell windows. These never change. This will always be a good place to sell. This will always be a good place to buy. And you just made 40 to 60 pips selling up there. You had to cash out, though, because what if we just keep ripping up? How is this not a concern? Nobody's talking about the punishment of being in 5 standard lots. You're up $3,000, and now you're up $500. What? Now I guess these are people trying to make $20,000 on the trade. I'm not going to ride a fucking one position for a month and make $20,000. I can't look at that trade. I can't watch that happen because I know that I can make $1,000 a day and go flat at the end of the day. So if I'm going to wait to get paid in 1 month $20,000 on one trade, what's the chances that am I going to trail a stop on that, or am I literally expose my whole $20,000 profit and watch it turn out to be a $500 loss because I never move my stop. I let my profits run, because if you try your stop, are you really letting your profits run, or are you kind of truncating? Are you kind of... So this is a nice buy window here. So these, how hard is it to mark off this sell window? How hard is it to mark off this buy window, put a ticket in? I think it's real difficult if you're waiting for your indicators to catch up, if you're watching the fundamental news, if you're trying to make sense of it. If you don't accept that it's truly an exchange where there's buyers and sellers, like, you got to just accept that. And accept that you're going to lose a couple of these tickets, but overall, and this thing about consistency. Oh, I'm consistently placing orders. How's that? I mean, what is the consistency bullshit? These talking points, I just want to throw up. I'm a disciplined, consistent trader. Is that like Biden saying dumb shit like, well, we're going to have distribution of a vaccine? How are you going to do that? Well, we're going to do a conscious distribution. Okay, well, what is the logistics? Well, we can't talk about that right now, but what we're very formative, we're intent, and this is like empowered trading shit. Our goal here is our mission statement. Dude, what the fuck are you doing? Are you just gonna throw out all these talking points? You know, and then they got the weekly Forex guys. Well, here's an outlook on the market. Okay, it looks like the bulls are in control here. We're looking for a long position. Now, I want you to get out your Fibonacci tools. Does everybody have their Fibonacci tool? Oh, Joe, you sat on yours. Okay. You bent the Fibonacci tool. Okay. We can't participate in this one. He's a little out of calibration. But now, do you know what 618 means? Okay, you're ahead of the game. Okay, you've been here before. I mean, and then people got like fucking, there was a guy, these are real people. I met a guy on a Discord, and I don't think he was lying. He's like, I'm down 63 grand. I took a course, and I'm like, yeah, it takes me like 5 years to lose 63 grand, I think. Like, I think it should take you some time, right? And this is the idea of trading these nano lots or micro lots, is that now you've got like you learn how to shoot a gun. Do you start with a fucking high-end rifle? And maybe you get used to the idea of having a gun. So you have a small gun. You can do a lot of damage. This idea that you need a fucking 9mm, I don't know. If I took a fucking, what were we talking last night about? You know what like a sonic blast, it's called. If on a boat, you have these boat horns. They're just brutal. If somebody came up to you and tried to, forget pepper spray, you hit them with that, unless they're deaf. So this is the prime example. You went long on that $20,000 position back down here when you got the signal to buy the pound. How you feel about that trade right now? Look at this. I don't know how people are doing it. Honestly, please, what do they say? Like and comment below. Look at this. It's nuts. It makes no sense. And this is what they call manipulation. That's why my only I don't know, I can't really talk to these guys in person, ICT and no nonsense. I think no nonsense. I was live streaming once and he came in there and suppose it was him. But came back to the order block. See how that blew through my order block. I mean, who's doing that trade? Please show me. Look at this thing all over the map. Let me do a different data set. Just one more British pound example here. I'm going to go to the 4-hour chart and put it in hyper playback mode, and we'll do a longer data set. And you can just see how harebrained some of these. I don't know, man. I know this stuff goes on all day long. People selling courses on how to trade, and people always say, do you really think if a guy wrote a robot that makes money trading that he would give it away? Why not? Why wouldn't he? Because look at this robot's probably, I don't know if it's making any money now, but on the 1-hour chart, it's not getting a lot of trades off, but sure, why not? It's not like those robots don't work, okay? But they don't work all the time, and nothing works all the time. So I guess all the time, those don't exist. And maybe he does sell that robot for $20. Why not? People sell guitars for $300. It doesn't mean you're going to be a rock star. Did Hendrix's Stratocaster make him more money than you made playing your Stratocaster? Is there anything special about it? No, it's just a fucking... People have taken pawn shop guitars, put new strings on them, never set the intonation, never got a fret job, fucking wrote a hit song. Okay, what does that tell you? Sure. Oh, they're not just sell a Stratocaster. This is by anybody who wants to know, a Stratocaster is an electric guitar, and they call it a Strat because it's supposed to be a Stradivarius. I think that's Stradivarius they're aiming at. So, but just because you're buying, and the other one is the guy buys the fucking $100,000 Stradivarius and he goes, "I'm gonna sound fucking so good," but dude, you don't know how to play it. What's the point? Yeah, there's robots that... Now, is there a robot you can just press and it's just going to always make money? No, because it'll never be done. These markets won't allow it. I bought a Bitcoin robot that shorts Bitcoin. Well, when's it going to... Well, it finally made $10,000 after it got blown up shorting into it. Man, look at this bruiser. Oh, Ryanbot's going short here. Oh, yeah, so he's shorting in a 20-pip grid. I think I set it to 20. There you go, cashed out. And at least he didn't get involved in other trades. See, now, I think the structured trader would have been short off the top of that. So if you're looking at the big picture here, this is a different view, isn't it? The robot didn't let us trade this part here because I think the data's coming in here. But now, had you had the balls and the tickets and the account size, you would have shorted that whole window there, just for the scalp, just to make money. I'm not gonna say that we could hold this and it's gonna come down here because I know I couldn't do it. I will say that based on what I'm seeing here, I would put in some buy limits here that last all day, last 8 hours, 12 hours. And hope they fill me on that. Otherwise, I'm going to come down to the small time frames and I'm going to put in sells here, sell limits. I just made 40 pips with the 20 pips top there. And I just went long here to make 20 pips. So I don't know if we're going to make it down there. And this is the 1 hour chart zoomed out. This is each slot's a day. And this is when you have to admit, I don't care who you are, that range trading makes more money. If you're going to argue that you're in the same size I am and you're long and you're in this fucking trend and you're in during this pullback, how? You don't have a brain? You don't feel that you're winning and losing? You don't feel that in your account? Oh, I'm not a disciplined trader. You know your talking points. Let your profits run. I'm consistently disciplined trader. You're a fucking moron. Okay? Like, I'm a consistently playing my Stradivarius. I will be at Carnegie Hall. No, you won't. You don't even have the fucking mindset, the passion. So watching this, I don't have a lot of people I'm watching trade the thing, but I watched the Su Lee guy, and I don't see him ever trading. Like, I mean, he talks about, yeah, you can do this and do that, but it's like, yeah, he's just like a coach. I guess he's trading coaches, right? You can do it, son. Get out there. Now, I know you got stopped out of that, and you blew up that $1 million account, and get back out there. And so the selling, so that was my big achievement, was to sell. This is just like that trade I did here, where you have this distribution up in the trap, and then we come flying back. And that was a short. I took it because I was just going to stick to that idea. I saw this new high. This is, I'm talking of Thursday. Well, this is like, imagine this 5 years back. I'm selling up there. That's all there is to it, and finally cashed out. Not to say there wasn't more trades coming that were just as viable here, right? These are the same amount of pips you're making. The fact that you sold the tippy top on a so-called pattern, on a so-called trap, fake breakout, goober, destruction of goobers, that doesn't matter, because there's all these goober destructions here, and they're all worth the same amount of pips. I don't discriminate. So I'd have bought that plunge there for the scalp, and I'm prepared to buy all the way down. So that's a comforting feeling for me, because I can just go to sleep. Of course, this is London. This is London. London breakout, fake breakout. Here you got trapped on the wrong side, and now they're going to golf it. They're going to go after the high in Asia. I'm out. I'll go back to sleep. Now I can have limits up here now. I can have buy limits down here, and that's how I'm looking at it, because I don't want to be involved in this shit. This is all garbage. The money's in the noise, right? All this ranging. Because look at that. That's 40 pips. Why would I? I'm not going to do it. You could do it. Like, why would I get in here and go, yeah, I'm going to hold until we... What if we don't? What if we just keep pounding this shit and going up, down 40, up 60? What if that's all that ever fucking happens? It seems that that's all that ever fucking happens. You get Trump for 4 years and you go back to the same, like that. Trump was a trend of optimism. Now you got Mr. Dark Winter driving the car. And you have a gaggle of bureaucrats that don't have one fucking, at least the guy that's trading the market that says it's in an uptrend, I'm looking for pullbacks, at least he has a fucking plan. This administration is literally trading without a quote board. They don't even know what the fucking price is. And they're pulling talking point triggers like the guys that do talking point mastering Forex, the checklist of these checklists that are just ridiculous, speaking in platitudes. And the praise that people get, like if you watch a video, because I guess it's just people are nice, right? I can't claim that, but people are polite, nice, and they'll say stuff like, you go, and they're always, and this is the funny thing about watching this warrior girl from Britain, who I'm sure people will claim she has a horse face, but I think she's cute. But, I mean, she's a girl, she's young, she's pretty, and people will not say anything mean to her like, you're full of shit, you trade like shit. Because she's a girl. She got girl privilege, girl trader privilege. Not a lot of girls trading out there. But the most adorable thing is this trading warrior girl. The most adorable thing about her is that she's doing her checklist as if she's taking care of her neighbor's cat while she's away on vacation. Well, I changed the litter box. This checklist is ridiculous. Like and then she did this one where she did a breakdown of an entry. She goes, well, the 4-hour chart says I should go long, and I'm looking to do this and that. And, she's not vulgar, so it's kind of, people are being polite to her back. And so she gets to the point where she's going to go to the 15-minute chart for entry. She's claiming she's scalping the British pound, which is, okay. And then she's like, it's just, she shows her trades, and she's like, she got stopped out. She got running too tight of a stop. Obvious, the mistakes are obvious there, but why is she running a tight stop? Because she's trying to protect her money. And this is why, if you go watch this Michael Norman guy, he's like, stops are for sissies, yeah? Okay, so look at this. You're buying this plunge here? Wow, look at that. So this is I think the part I talked about, the abyss we're going to go into here. And this does become a profitable trade. I think it actually rips up here later. And that's hard to endure, right? So if you were short into that because everything told you, and she's got her checklist, it's so adorable. And at the end of the day, and she does this evaluation, well, this week I'm up. Now, this is like trading at a pace that I'd blow my brains out. Like, you did 5 trades this week, and yeah, this is and I know you're going to review your journal and all that, and that's cute and adorable. And I know you have to start somewhere, but at some point you're going to throw that out. You're going to grab the steering wheel of your car and you're going to drive to the store and get some more fucking beer. You're not going to sit there and figure out, if you're going to wear your tires out or how much gas is going to take you to get some more beer. You're just going to go get some fucking beers, and that's it. And hopefully people get to the point where they're relaxed enough about trading. They don't have this. But then again, what am I to say? Maybe you're making a fucking $1 million, and maybe you're consistently trading, and you're sifting out 5%. And this is where I disagree with Ryan Brown. Now he's relying on these robots to make him, if you can make 10% and stuff like that, right? But he does. I don't think you can see what's going on here as far as the brutalization of volatility, making a range market kind of destroy any kind of smoothing to make it a comfortable trade, or make it a trade that's safe to get in the water, because my indicators have finally caught up and the stars have aligned. And even the horoscope traders, the guys that are using, maybe put a crystal on their MetaTrader platform keyboard. I'm using crystals and a lot of incense, a lot of exotic homemade drugs. I saw this movie watching horror flicks. So this movie where these guys go into this abandoned building and they're after the toxicity at the bottom of the basement. The guy goes, "Why are we here?" He goes, "I saw it on the internet. You gotta go to this place." And these guys they're hallucinating and losing their minds because they're dipping into this water at the bottom of a industrial building or an insane asylum. I don't know what it is. And it's all about, and the guy that lives there, he's totally become like a serial killer from it. But apparently they can't stop doing it. So the Forex, it's kind of like Forex in a way. Everything's like Forex, but it's like, there's risk there, but it's like, is it worth it? Is the reward worth the risk? And these guys, it's kind of interesting movie. But from that concept of that, the toxicity is what people, the anger, certainly the political polarization, there's fuel in that controversy. Are you long? Are you short? Oh, it's going up, it's going down, right? And what's the better thing? So the stock market, you definitely, if you don't have a margin account, you're a buyer, right? Looking at the stocks right now, looking at NASDAQ and saying the new landscape is supposedly we're going to go full woke to go broke. I would say NASDAQ should go broke. Fundamentally speaking, it could defy all odds and become this insane churning up where people just they can't figure it out. I don't think it's. I just think there's an exhaustion. At some point, there's an aha moment. Let's not forget the Federal Reserve. If they go negative interest rates here, which they did in Sweden or Switzerland, the same to me. It's over there. What's that going to do? And does that mean that your money's safer because now you're paying rent on it? It's funny because all the tried and true things, and Peter Schiff's talking about buying gold. He said Bitcoin's bullshit. He's wrong. Bitcoin blew away gold. Gold's not really doing anything magical. And they call them crowded markets. Everybody's aware of this thing. And if it's not volatile, that may be what people want. They want to be in gold because it's not ripping all over the map. It's not the British pound. It's not the Bitcoin. It's not, and supposedly crude oil is supposed to go up in price. Will it? Is it too late? Is there going to be, there's too many loopholes. So when people say, well, we're doomed, when Trump got in office, he went and did a bunch of orders and the courts shut him down. They go, you can't do that. You can't do that. Now, I don't know that the courts are totally retarded and totally, they don't want to do anything political. So they have, like, in other words, I didn't know this, but apparently the courts are not really places to have your stuff adjudicated because it doesn't qualify unless it's safe, right? No, but they don't want to really make a judgment. They don't want to be responsible. They want to just do like dog catcher. Oh, did they catch your dog illegally? Okay, well, we could talk about that. But now, if you hacked into the most sensitive government computer in the world, and we got you red-handed, well, what team are you on? So there's things that are just not, I don't know, it spills over. So I see that the need to okay, so the trading thing, I do think it's just a vicious market. I don't think you're ever gonna, I think you're wasting your time running moving averages. If it makes you feel safer, go for it. But I'm just going to tell you, after hours of watching and trading the market, hours, I find it to be the most feeble approach, because you're just building a car for a road that doesn't exist. Maybe if that road exists in this market, you have to have a SUV for 30 seconds, and then it's got to turn into a sports car. It's just not going to happen. And just saying I want to make 40 pips is a more realistic goal than saying I want to make 10% a month. Learn how to make 20 pips with a 10 pip stop. It is going to be a daunting task if you think that there's a way to master it, because you're always going to want it to be a better trade. You never complete on that. And you got to start somewhere, right? And it is, the empowered trading people and all that. I guess what you're learning there is that just like anybody that thinks, well, this is the way to go. I'm all in here. I'm going to spend, whether it's $100 a month, I'm going to follow this guy's system, see if it works. It's never going to fit you. Even if you wear the same clothes that somebody wears, you're never going to think like them. It's just not, you have to accept that you're unique and that there's no way. Now, if you're trying to sell a course, I can understand why you want to get this verification. This course is going to do it. This will be the one. And look how vicious this market is. This is going up and down 40 to 80 pips every hour. Well, for the last 2 hours here on this chart. I mean, I'm still amazed that people are going to say that, like the no nonsense guy, he's probably going to tell me right now on this chart, well, we just haven't got a signal yet. Dude, how can you stand in front of a 80 pip move in 1 hour and tell me you can't figure out a way to extract some money from this price action? You can't figure out a way to make money from that? I can. I did. Because I'm going to say, let's be a fucking idiot and just sell high, buy low. Right? You're making money. You sold high, you bought low. Now that's going to be how many times you do it. And it's just like a real job, It's just a real job. Look at that. Now they're just torturing anybody. It's 100 pips from, so a standard lot. You got in down here, you're up $2,000, you're down $2,000, you're up $1,000, you're down. I mean, it's just 2 standard lots. This is ridiculous. Not me, man. I'm going to get in down here in 2 standard lots, and I'm going to get out of 1 standard lot at the 40, 1 at the 60, and I'm done. I don't need to ride that maybe. Or maybe I will put in the 80 pip winner, but I'm not going to put everything in for 80 there, because I don't know if I'm going to get it. There's no guarantee that when we come down here that we're going to engulf. It would be nice. See, look at it back off, right? Cash out. And so if I see that I'm flat now, I'm going to come in with a buy limit here. I'm going to put more sell limits up there because I don't want to go past. You got to have some threshold. Don't want to go past 5 standard lots at any one after so much time. And those rules you're making up for yourself based on what you feel comfortable in the size you're trading. Because every time somebody puts up one of these systems, like, I got this indicator, this is the signal, you're gonna risk 2% of your account, it's just so feeble. I mean, it's just, you're asking for so much. And then you're gonna do a trailing stop. And that Ryan bot that I just tested, I don't think it has a trailing stop. So it's just taking that basket out. If it gets stopped out, it gets stopped out. And so here, is this the sell window? Or is that the breakout? We're going to keep going up. I think this is where they crush it. They pull this back hard here. I think. I remember from the last playback. Not necessarily, but this is that exact trade I did here. See what I'm talking about? We make a new high. We've trapped up in here. Are we going to come ripping back? Or is this breakout, pull back and up? We don't know. But if you're building a short position up here, you're certainly hoping they're going to crush that down right now, right? And then that trade's over. And then it's the next 8 hours, next day. Look at that in the 1 hour chart. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Okay, now crushing down. First dip into this window. People scalp that. That's a nice 40 pip scalp. Buying that. Selling again. I'm out. I know where the sellers are going to come in. If I don't take something off the table of my account there, I'm just being completely ridiculous. I'm just, you can get away with it sometimes, but the time that you go all along here thinking, yeah, man, once this happens, this thing's going to the moon. And the whole time, this abyss is piling up underneath you. And I'm not saying we're going to come down there because I don't remember now where we're at in the chart, but we could come ripping back into that. Oh, already winning on that, selling new highs, see? Huh? And I'm also kind of, on here, I'm assuming I'm going to let these orders, if they decay, I'm going to replace them. They'll last all day down here. Yeah. I thought this crushed down in here. Maybe not. Maybe just keep crushing up. Doesn't matter. I would sell up here. Sell new highs. Just made 40 pips in 1 hour. Oh, just made 40, 60 pips. So you can see how your targets need to be set. Now, if I'm watching that happen, I probably will go flat on everything here just because I know the buyers are coming in here. And then maybe I got enough. Now, I actually made more money, right? So I can afford to get stopped out of some stuff here, but I got a big pending bank down here. And I can be flat right now with sell limits up here, buy limits here, waiting for something to get tagged. If I look at my Android phone, so that's the one I would look to see, am I getting filled? Am I in something? And in how I want to see it unfold is we get filled, I get cashed out of something, I'm still holding something. And then, of course, I would go look at the chart. See selling new highs there. Got to make those first 20 pips. Didn't make it. I'm going to assume I got stopped out of that. But I sold more up here, and I just made 20 pips off of that. Selling again to make 20. And 40. You know, I still got those targets. Okay. We're holding on. We're trapped up in this unfair value. We're in new highs. Waiting for that 40 pip winner to cash out. If I'm not in the market right now, I'm selling new highs, and I'm still going to buy down here. Okay, just cashed out of my 40 pip winner. So this balance between the longs and shorts here and all that. Okay, let me just go for the 4-hour chart. I'm going to go to the a different time frame. We'll just pick somewhere in time. Another random thing. But yeah, I don't want to sit there and torture myself with these giant positions of. Let's see if they give me a total here. I'm gonna stop the robot. Let's see if I get make any money here. Okay, it made money. Just didn't do as many trades. So I'm gonna set it to 4 hours and go for a different time set here. This is only going. This is 2019, so let's go back to the Wayback Machine of here. We'll just start deeper in. Go to 4-hour chart. Every tick. Super fast playback. The more indicators you put on here, the slower the playback usually is because of all the calculations. Oh, see, I get this all the time with this damn thing. This is some weird bad tick shit going on here. I don't know. Hugo's got some bad fucking data in there, so this is like unusable. I don't get it. That pisses me off. So yeah, we have to. Of course, we're not depending on the robot here to. But it makes it hard to talk about the chart. So it's kind of fucked up. Anyways, I think you get the point. That's we got a big hole in the 4-hour data. I don't know why it doesn't. If I did 1-hour data, it'd be fine. But I've had this. I installed this on a new computer, but it's their data. Their data's fucked up. It's bullshit. What do you expect? I'll try to get rid of it this way, just by. That's as close as I can get. Oh, that's going to take forever to fill in. Anyways, that's that. So, yeah, I still haven't put that together. So Bitcoin is actually trading right now. Kind of waffling. Not a lot of price action there, but yeah, I think Bitcoin's had it. I mean, it's had it, and not like it's going to crash, but I mean, like I said, if you could trade Bitcoin, it's just like any other market, you know. Like look at the half-hour chart here. So I would trade the half-hour chart on Bitcoin. I can see my trades here. Like here's the new high. I'm selling that and selling all these new highs. We know this is a buy. So we get this buy. We get this fuel here. We buy this. It's a good trade. This is a better trade. We could sell this pocket. Then we go through the floor here, and if you had enough money, you could buy everything to here, and then when it gets back to here, you cash out. I mean, this is like $2,000 move, but see, the spread's brutal. So it may look amazing, and maybe the spread gets tighter when the other markets. I don't really watch this, but that's a pretty nasty spread, isn't it? $80, I think. Alrighty, so that's that. I don't know. That's my 2-hour look into price action. What to do about it? Where the money really is to me, it's this up and down action. Yeah, this moving average says sell, and I know a lot of people are going to say, yeah, can't you see how great this sell is here? Look, it's down, sell. Look at this giant good trade you made. And no, I don't look at it like that at all. I think I used to, because I thought, well, and I saw it in a book, and I thought this is the way to go. That's the same. You want to smooth out the data. Here's a good way to do it. Just go to the daily chart. You know, like go to the weekly chart. This should smooth it out for you. It's pulled back. Would you buy Bitcoin? You know, when you look at the monthly, you say, I would not buy that. There's no fucking way I'm buying that. This is the line I put out here. get rid of that thing. It's driving me crazy. Yeah, look at this thing. Really, Bitcoin's going to 100. So right now we're living above this. We could definitely come back to that. Wow, what a move. But this is the dollar. They're letting you trade this. I don't know what this is. But that's the dollar. I think the dollar is... Wow. Now the dollar could fall into this hole here, and that would be lights out for the dollar. But we're all the way back to the middle of this. This whole world. Back in the center of that whole thing. Man, this was a run here, wasn't it? Yeah, so I wouldn't want to make any... Like, if you trade with a 500 pip stop, you could say things about, well, fundamentally, and then you can wait for it to be right. You can wait for prices to make sense, that you think the price is correct. But the price is always correct every day because it's based on the landscape of every other instrument holding against it. So if there was no liquidity, if there was nobody trading it, the spreads would be so wide, there wouldn't be a market. You know, and you go, see, if you go on eBay and try to buy something there's not a lot of them, there's not a price comparison. If there's a bunch of them, people like, this is $1 cheaper over here. It's very tight prices, very tight movement. As soon as you make it so it's illegal to do stuff, you just end up with big gaps. But those gaps are filled by nature, and people find a way. In fact, if corruption is the normal state of the game, then loopholes is the normal state of the game. And for every law, there is, just like designer drugs. When designer drugs came out, they were technically legal because there was no law against that molecular composition. Sure, it was a drug, but it's not technically illegal. So people are just going to get along their merry way, and there's already been, because of this political virus and this, that just shows you how entrenched people are in standard operating procedures and just go along to get along and all that shit. Because look at the vicious backlash to it, and look at the upset, how it disrupts on such a core level so many things. But that's the that reveals stuff, see? And now that you can't play that game anymore with people. Once you lift the veil, you know, that's done. And I think people are always looking for that next, what is the next thing that's going to be the big market? When we traded stocks, we would think. When I traded penny stocks, it was under the idea that, wow, these guys they got something new. And the people that bought Microsoft and Apple or Bitcoin at cheap prices, they go, yeah, this is going to be it. But if you did a basket of 20 of those, you only need one to win out of 20. I mean, you have your ratio of win to losses is god awful. 19 of your penny stocks went nowhere. One took off like a rocket. You made so much money on that one that you're good. I think and then here's the other problem with that is, now what? Where's the next big thing? And if you say, I'm getting good at picking because I picked this one, this is that kind of like palm reading bias where, oh, she said one thing that was true. Then you think, oh, I'm good at this. Then you're going to go into another thing, and yeah, it's the same kind of thing. I've got this feeling about it. That's the other thing. I used to do I think everybody still does this, but I used to do it really heavy. Like, I got a feeling about this trade. Now, this is the magical thinking of trading. No, I know the indicators are saying this, but no. And then when you're right and the indicator's wrong, you go, see, trust your gut. I think the gut check is going to be, do I feel like this has to be the trade? Should I trade tomorrow instead? And I'm not really good at that. So for me, I just have the demo account. If I don't want to trade, but I really want to trade, I just trade the demo account. If I'm waiting to get filled on something else, or I'll just come in lightly with real money. Because to me, every day is another. If you don't know what's going to happen that day, you kind of know the areas you want to buy and sell. It's okay if it doesn't work out, but you're always going to fight the feeling that when you're in the winning trade. For me, I wish I was in bigger. Losing trade, I wish I was smaller. I don't think you ever get past that. Every time I play my guitar, I'm like, yeah, I think I could have done that better. So that's the normal part. And also the pressure of people say, I want to trade for a living. Well, what if you traded enough money that you could just quit your job and live off you? Never trade again, right? So you built up enough money trading, and then you can sit back and kind of be an idiot and trade, and maybe you're losing 5% a month, but you got so much money that it's not going to affect you. So if you this is the lottery kind of idea. You won the lottery, you quit your day job. Then people say, well, what can I just be a full-time trader? I thought you wanted to get out of the working world. This is just another job. So all that stuff, And then when you get there, you're like, this is like a normal job. Fuck, I kind of miss the coffee cooler talk on my old job talking about the girl that I raped last weekend. So, all these kind of things. And, well, it wasn't that. She wanted me to do it. She likes that. Stop, I love it. She's a stop, I love it girl. Everything's so sanitized now. Oh, my God. But I think the Wild West is coming back. I know the underground world, that somebody just called up I listened to this talk show out of Boston. This guy named Cooner, and this guy calls up, and I listen to ham radio on and off. I'm listening to it now lately, listening to these guys. And they sent out a notice to anybody with a ham radio license saying that we understand a lot of people are leaving Facebook and Twitter, and they're trying to set up their own little clutches, and we're going to monitor the airwaves to make sure nobody's conspiring on ham radio. Oh, my Lord. So I told the bass player last night, people could send data packets untraceable encrypted inside of a ham radio signal, and nobody's going to know what that is. There's no email. So there's no way you're going to stop people from doing what they're going to do. In fact, it's probably easier now. Because people are like, oh, really? It's going to be like that then? Well, then fuck all rules. Fuck you and the fuck that brought you in, So that is where it's going, I think. But Sunday's coming. Supposedly, he said, so now that Biden's in office, there's no corona problem. They took the ticker tape off of CNN. It's just so obviously, and it's so like, you think they could at least, like when you're going to steal an election, like kind of make it look like you're not stealing. But no, now they're going to shift gears, and no, you should have kept the corona ticker tape going for at least the next 6 months and lockdowns heavier to prove that it wasn't a political virus. So where I live, they play a game where if they don't have enough dead people that died from, quote, corona, which is if you fell off your motorcycle while getting gang raped, with corona, you are a corona death. And they would do this thing, and they report it intermittently on the news. They'd say we have 80 dead people. In a state of 11 fucking million people, there's 80 dead people. Dude, people are dying. Face it. Then they would say 40 of those are from reviewing death certificates. Now that means we're mining for deaths that we can convert to corona deaths. Well, they stopped doing that. And now the hospitalizations are down because the coding they're using, and I know nobody believes this. I mean, I didn't used to think this was possible, but if you think the elections were rigged, and if you're a fucking complete moron would you think they're not? They're rigging the fuck out of this corona. That's fucking rigged to the hilt. But I know that. Actually, I've known for 40 years that doctors have their head up their ass because I have not been to a doctor in probably 40 years. And I will not go unless I feel pain up the ass. Okay? People are going to the doctor and they're finding shit. Oh, look at this. You got a little problem here. Well, let's going to monitor that for you. Here. You know what? We could dial you in a little bit better. I'll put a moving average on your fucking body here. What we're going to do is we got this thing called you ever heard of cloud trading? Well, we're gonna not to mention this fucking vaccine's fucking like a nanobot. We got you hooked up. We're gonna get you on some heart meds. It looks like your cholesterol's a little high. Now, when you read the insert on that bottle, the side effects are going to be mind blowing. So I've never been like, I know the big pharma game, right? I'm not going to do it. I know I'm not going to live to be 150 years old. I don't care what pharmaceuticals you got. And for the people that smoking cigarettes, smoke them. Dude, enjoy your fucking life. It's just mind blowing. My grandfather smoked cigarettes. He lived to be 90 fucking 6. And maybe he's genetic, you know? Smoke fucking cigarettes like a whore. Maybe 3 packs a day. He wasn't obese. And then he has stomach issue. He has stomach reduced in size. That's what kept him alive. He was forced not to eat it. He wasn't doing it for the obesity. He just had something in his stomach. So there's no double-blind studies. We don't have another 96-year-old guy that didn't smoke and jogged every fucking day. There's a lot of people that never fucking worked out. They're 100 fucking years old. They never jogged. They never fucking had an anti-gluten sandwich. They didn't do it. And there are traders out there that don't even fucking use a goddamn chart. They're like, yeah, it looks like the market's up. Let's sell. They're making money. You know, it's just maybe they're lucky. There's also luck, right? But this is a real amazing world we're living in here because the things are kind of connected. I still think Bitcoin prices, they mean something. There's definitely less and less Bitcoins available. It's just like I said, the social indicators are the markets in a way, and it's a two-way street. It's a pendulum swing. So now you've got this central planning government that's going to a dictatorship, a regime. It's going to try to micromanage shit. They've already admitted they're going to micromanage the distribution of the vaccine. Well, that just becomes a clusterfuck. That shit will go fucking the room temp. It'll be spoiled, be thrown out. Because trying to orchestrate and you can't do it, right? Because the normal distribution of people finding their unique ways in the orgasm, what do you say? That guy Schumer said that Trump was caused a big erection in D.C. So the big picture, you know, of what's going on here, it's comical, you know. I guess the people that are in the stock market are thinking, what's going to happen to my stocks now? If they're going to tax the rich, if they're going to tax my winnings, some guy wanted to tax Forex trades and shit. I mean, we've heard all these harebrained things because they think that's, they need the money. They clearly do not need the money because they're printing it. That's another big joke, is that taxes are for revenue. Taxes are just to take money out of circulation to keep hyperinflation from occurring. The truth, that is the truth of it. The side effects from all this stimulation and all these things you just can't direct. You can't direct things to go. You can't direct the train to go down a nice, peaceful set of tracks. This douchebag that's the so-called president. There's a Baghdad bombing right after he's in. Yeah, here we go. Back to business as usual. I don't know if crude oil is going to go up because of this. I don't think you can stop the fracking. Now, that train left the station, so capitalism has been unleashed. Trump will live on forever in the laws that he made, in the deregulation he did, because you can't, to come back and re-regulate it, there's already pushback from this and other dumb shit. When you have one person that's going to be in the Federal Reserve, Yellen, now this Yellen bitch, she knows capitalism works. She's like, yeah, it was a good idea to reduce taxes on corporations. Yeah, it was a good idea to deregulate shit. So you're still going to have rational thinkers, and they're going to stand out. They're going to stand out, and people are going to glom onto that. This is a complete pause button, because the guy that runs the United States supposedly runs it. It runs itself, right? The machine is churning. And in most countries, the prime minister or the Queen of England doesn't have any power, really. I mean, the thing is just a bureaucratic, churning piece of shit that's juggernaut that just runs over everybody because the laws are there. If you follow the letter of the law and not the spirit of the law, you just go down those tracks. But nature finds a way, and there's a few surviving places we go. And the freedom from physical labor, which is trading, it's intellectual labor, or it's a thought labor, is supposed to, well, this is what I've been doing my whole life, is I wanted to say, well, I know my body will give out at some point. I want to be able to make money from making a decision. And the trading is supposed to be that. And they in 2008 crash, Forex was destroyed in the United States. It went all offshore. And there's a few surviving brokers. And you don't need 20 brokers, but it was fun when it lasted. At least you had your pick. And you could do. It was just a more friendly environment. Now it's hostile. There was those guys that were talking about, I can't remember the name of the Forex thing. Word got out, they shut them down. You know, it's just ridiculous. And all in the name of erring on the side of caution. It just makes me want to throw up, like, really? So now you've got people that have been in lockdown. They lost their fucking mind. They lost their business. Was it worth it? Because Orange Man was kind of originalist, constitutionalist patriot. Patriots a little too bold and cavemanish to think about the fundamentals of living. Protecting yourself with a gun, having your own. You can't. When I bought my house, they told me I couldn't use the well in the back because it's illegal. Got to use the city water. Well, that's interesting. So I own the land. No, you don't. Sorry. So this ownership, it's just a joke. There is no constitution. There is no law. Might makes right. Unless you're sleeping in the basement with one bathroom with 5,000 other people wearing camo. That's always a bummer. I was told to be here, just following orders. You round up enough Jews yet? Nah, I got a checklist here. We're disciplined Nazis. We're consistent. And what else are we? We're disciplined. Anyways, I'm going to take a nap here, I think. Resting up for the Oh, I'm watching the news, So this break I took was basically waiting for them to deliver my computer. How about priority mail? 2.5 fucking weeks. Now, what happened to the post office was supposed to, if Biden would have lost, they would have just come after the post office, which, I don't know if the post office guys are sick. There's some people are saying, oh, people are still sick, and you're still seeing corona bullshit. Come on, man. This is just so stupid and so old and so embarrassing. It is the proof that we live in the most prosperous time in our life that we can worry about a stupid fucking virus. And you're using fucking machines that are so sensitive that if you got a fucking pollen spore up your nose, you're going to test positive. The false positives it's just a clusterfuck. And the whole problem with it is that treating doctors as if they're gods with inside information on how the universe is connected. You're going to trust what they say about it? Or are you going to trust your own fucking fact that I haven't worn a fucking mask, okay? Unless they're going to give me a hard time, and then I put this nylon. I kind of wanted to just get some really old-fashioned brassiere or something, put on my nose, but I haven't gotten sick, and I'm kind of want to get sick. I kind of want. Let's see what this corona's about. I've heard so much about it. Maybe it's a chance to go on vacation, take a break. I don't know, but I know this one girl has got it, and I don't know what's going. I mean, she claims she's still sick. I don't know. I don't know, man. I think it's just okay. I don't want to say this, but maybe you're just being lazy. You're just you're leaning on the corona. Look, I'm sick again. It's crazy. Or there's this phenomenon where it's supposedly true that people in groups, if one guy gets sick, the other goes, I'm kind of feeling sick too, And people can make themselves sick like a placebo kind of situation. I think it's possible. I don't know. I just can't believe we're here. And then you're going to impeach a guy that's not even in office. Are you fucking kidding me? It's just, oh my God, man. I mean, it's like, it's a movie. It would be the kind of movie that the critics would say, come on, man, that is the most bullshit. I don't care if it's fiction. That's just could not happen. Oh no, it happened. Okay, so I'm gonna take a break here, but anyways, I guess I'm playing catch up here. I want to go through these charts and just reaffirm that trend trading is for the goober. And bless your heart. Go about your trend trading, goobers. Trend traders unite. You got to get that banjo out and do that fucking that trend trading song that we get whipsaw. The whipsaw song, right? Not into it. Not going to do it. No, thank you.